becomes Friday. And you know where it gets more painful? Behind me, I can see power. Beside me, I can still see power. But it's like I can see the promised land, but I cannot enter. And the people that now have the power, they're just priding up and down, saying, "Oh, we are now on federal line, just the street before my street." They migrated them to band A or federal line, or what is it called? But it did not reach my side. I'm feeling pain. And yes, I'm jealous. I'm not even gonna lie. Why not me? I mean, for someone like us, people like us that use prepaid meter, who would always buy units, who need the power, who cannot do without power, who will do everything possible to get fuel to run generators. I didn't get it. And then people that were, did you see this life? People battle. The people that now had the federal line, this was what they were saying. This federal line now where they don't bring so now. May they give us the one we been get before. This one, our bill go plenty. I'm like, do you understand what you have? Do you know how many Nigerians? I mean, we're not supposed to be having a conversation where only a selected few have power. But the fact that it got to you, and you are complaining because of tariff and not. Are you normal? Is something wrong with you? If you don't want the light, send it to my house, my friend. That was how I felt like, But then I just maintained peace, and you know how they say, rejoice with those that rejoice. But some people were actually not rejoicing. They just like to suffer. Anyway, so that was how my weekend went. It was sad for me because, I didn't have power. My energy this afternoon, it's courtesy of breakfast, and breakfast was beans and plantain. Yes, very nicely made beans. That kind of beans that the palm oil is floating on top of it with some dodo by the side. That time that I used to cut small. Yeah, that was breakfast. So that's the energy I'm exuding. That's the vibe I'm giving. But it's time for serious business. All right, romantic partners as colleagues and bosses is the conversation today. Now, that conversation will take us up until 1 o'clock. Then we'll have a chit chat between the 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock hour. I would have some draws on one play. And then by 2 to 3, the series will be in the studio with me because Family Matters is happening. But there is something happening on Wednesday, and I believe they want to share that with us. Yes, indeed. So get ready for it. In the meantime, have you entered today's one play draw? If you haven't, the Independence Day mega jackpot draw we are talking about is just hours away. It's on the 1st of October. So if you're yet to get on the draw, please visit the website oneplay.ng. That's www.oneplay.ng, or you use the USSD code *347*880*6#. But make sure that if you indeed intend to win on the sunny side today, you're buying your tickets between now and let's say some minutes to 3 p.m. And also, you have to select Nigeria Info 92.3 PH, especially when you're going to the website, if you're going to buy your tickets through the website. For the USSD code, it takes you straight to the Nigeria Info setting. But for the website, you would have to select Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. So hurry now, go there, buy your ticket, because you stand a chance to win today, 25,000 naira. You stand a chance to win on Wednesday on the Independence Day jackpot, and you stand a chance to win on Friday on our normal Friday jackpot draws. So one ticket qualifies you to be on all of these draws I have highlighted, and I look forward to seeing you win. And yes, charge your mobile phones, keep your phones closed, because what I have noticed in the past weeks, people that win, they know they pick call, and I end up drawing for another winner. And you know how we campaign that you actually bought your ticket. You know that pain. You won, but you did not take your calls. Is that near success syndrome? I don't want to call it that, but pick your calls, keep your phones closed so that you take your calls. Now, back to business. Considering the immense amount of time we spend at work, especially for those of us who show up at work in the morning. Someone says, yeah, I wish I could have the kind of business that you had this man that's making you ginger like this, my brother. I wish I could share with you, only if I could share via Bluetooth. So back to what I was saying. For those of you who do 9 to 5 or maybe 8 to 5 or 8 to 6, you spend a greater part of your day at the office. It seems somewhat inevitable that we end up marrying someone with whom we share an office. And I have seen that happen countless times. I've seen it happen at several organizations I have worked with. I have attended weddings. And the story, the behind story, or the backstory is, they connected at the workplace. A study as far back as 2012 from Workplace Options revealed that 84% of millennials say that they are open to the possibility of engaging in an inter-office relationship, compared to just 36% of Gen X workers and 29% of baby boomers. These numbers strongly suggest that modern attitudes towards workplace romances are shifting. Of these millennial romantics, 71% believe that there are positive repercussions of engaging in these extracurricular activities. So, if workplace romance is on the increase, it stands to reason that more and more people will one day end up working with their spouse. And as much as modernization and urban lifestyle has changed a lot of things, a lot of men are still chauvinist and will not be too comfortable with having a woman lead them. Least of all, their spouse being their madam. And what about the women too? How comfortable are they with that arrangement? Do they subscribe to the idea of their spouse being their boss in the office? So this is me working here, and the boss is my husband. And I may not have gotten, there are levels to this thing. You marry the boss, you automatically become MD, or they just give you one office to occupy. And only a few people know that, now God wife be that. Or maybe everybody knows. Or maybe it didn't start like that. Maybe you guys built the company together. It only makes sense if you're one who is interested about what is happening around the business, you have the passion and drive. It only makes sense that you will, join forces with your partner to build. But what about cases where you came to that workplace and you met that person there? Or the person came to the workplace and met you there. Now, I try to have a conversation with the etiquette people and the HR people, and some of them had tilted towards the fact that, hey, they don't encourage workplace romance because before you know it, some people just forget the reason they are there and they begin to misbehave, and then there is conflict of interest and blah, 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 blah. But you never know where you're gonna find love. And I'm not talking about the kind of relationships where you just do your thing, or you guys are just doing things, in quotes. You know what I mean? You guys are just, enjoying yourself, nothing serious. You're just letting, going with the flow, blah, blah, blah. No, you guys are serious. And maybe some of you respect boundaries and you know where to draw the line. Office is office. In the office, Mr. Thompson. In the office, Miss this. And then when you get home, you can now love all you want. 2 questions. Given the rise in workplace romance, if you married a colleague, how would you feel about having your spouse as your direct boss or you being theirs? And do you think this work dynamic will ultimately help or hurt your marriage? Number 2 question is more like the normal, common question to ask whenever this kind of conversations pop up. What is your current organization's policy on dating or marrying a colleague? Is it something they approve of? Is it something you would not want to hear of? Maybe you guys were even married and there was an opening and both of you got the job. You know, sometimes by the time the woman starts changing her name and everything, it is not immediately known that this woman is Mrs. So and so. By the time they go through your CV and your certificates and everything. Or maybe they see that the name is looking alike, but they just assume that these are two people who just had similar surnames. It happens, right? Some surnames are very common. But what is their stand when it is out there in the open that you both are dating or are married? 0817-923-0002 and 0817-923-0003. 0817-923-0002 and 0817-923-0003. WhatsApp and Telegram number for your WhatsApp and Telegram messages is 0809-030-6416. Again, WhatsApp and Telegram number 0809-030-6416. We are live on X and YouTube and Nigeria Info page. All right, go there, watch us live, and most importantly, be a part of the conversation by dropping your comments in the comment section. And then, of course, our Facebook page is Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. I would love to hear from you. Given the rise in workplace romance, if you married a colleague, how would you feel about having your spouse as your direct boss or you being theirs? And do you think this work dynamic would ultimately help or hurt your marriage? And 2, what is your current organization's policy on dating or marrying a colleague? Is it something they care about? Is it something that they don't have a problem with? Is it a case of once you guys get married, one of you would have to leave the organization and then both of you will now have to sit back and decide between the both of you who should leave, who has the higher position, who is earning more, and all of those things that you guys need to consider. Nigeria Info, good afternoon. Welcome. I'm good. Your voice is really faint. Is there something you can do about it? Let me try something from my end. Go ahead, though.
Hello.
Yeah, hi. Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. My name is Dennis.
You're welcome.
All right, please. I actually would want to talk another thing. Is concerning this one play?
No, I wouldn't have you do that. There is time for everything. You don't call in the middle of a conversation to ask about one play. I believe the instructions I gave on how to get on the draw is quite simple, and you should understand that. All right?
Yeah,
Thank you.
What did you say?
I said I specifically reeled out how you can be a part of the draw. You didn't listen during that time?
I listened, but there is a confusion. Like, that time frame, is it 40 minutes or 40 seconds?
Who talked about 40 minutes or 40 seconds?
Now, when they send the code to you, the time before it will expire, the code will expire if you did not make the transfer.
I don't know about the code, but I mean, if you read the instructions, I believe it is very simple. That's how everybody has been doing it. So just follow the instructions that you see displayed.
In your speaker session, they used to say it's 40 seconds. And
I have listened to me. I don't think in the history of my telling you to enter any draw, I have ever talked about seconds. I don't know where you got the seconds from. Thank you. I didn't mention it, so I don't know why you're bringing it up. Please, all right? There's time for everything. Maybe if I'm having a draw and then you feel the need to ask questions for clarity, that would be a perfect time. And not to wait and then about something but it's fine. 0817-923-0002 and 0817-923-0003. Nigeria Info, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Benny.
Good afternoon, welcome.
So you calling from over?
You're welcome.
Yeah, based on what two questions you asked about what you are discussing, I think the first question should be the last one. What's your policy of the company you're working for about relationship in the firm you're working for?
Okay.
Hello?
I'm with you.
Taking that in position first should be give you a better picture of how you go about to carry yourself in your organization.
Okay.
Hello? Yeah.
I'm with you.
So then finding love in the organization, there's nothing wrong with it. Then you have to now consider the company you're working for based on the policy I'm talking about and how to manage it. Then for your spouse becoming your boss, eventually the policy of the company allows that. I don't see anything wrong with that. It all depends on the orientation you have about marriage and how mutually people respect each other when it comes to the house. Definitely in the house, somebody must be a boss. Somebody must be on the head. You understand what I'm saying?
I understand you. Now, there's a reason why I arranged the question in that manner, and I will explain. The workplace dynamics for some people is different. For some people, you are the boss. All right. So if you're responding, can you hear me? Can you hear me? For some people, you don't work for the organization. You own the organization. So some organizations can have policies, but there are people that they are willing to allow, do things away from the policies that have been set up. So CEO can say no inter whatever romance, and then one beautiful lady just walks into the office, and the CEO just says, "I've seen my wife." I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I understand. You mean he can elapse some of the rules because of his own love dynamics or getting too involved in a relationship?
That is a possibility.
There's every possibility for that. Do you understand me? So what I'm trying to make you understand is that based on what you are saying, there is nothing wrong with it. He owns the company. He determines what happens in the company as well. Are you getting me?
I get you.
Yeah, he determines what happens and what transpires. He's just trying to control the employees from going out of their way to put love first into the organization than working for the organization. But if it comes to him, he can elapse the laws because he's the boss. So that's what I'm saying is that it all depends on the orientation that comes in and how true the love is. No, there's no company that says that you cannot fall into a relationship that can lead to marriage. I don't think there's an organization like that. The only thing is that they are now being afraid of you people infatuating each other and trying to go all your way to do one or two things to harm the company's growth. You understand where I'm coming from?
All right.
That's what the policy is all about.
All right,
so
then.
That's what I see in it.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much. Some people sent in their messages on Facebook from the pre-sale we have on our social media platforms. King Israel says there's absolutely nothing wrong with the act of falling in love with a colleague or boss in a work environment. But in order to keep things straight and maintain professionalism, then one partner would have to sacrifice his or her job by resigning. Only then can their love, life, and work ethics be maintained properly. Is this so because they work for someone? If we can have two people marry and build a company, and none of them is saying, "Oh yeah, you go and start your own company," but they are saying, "Let us pool resources together, let us pool expertise together, and let us run this thing together," and they are successful doing so. Why is it different when two people who work for an organization They're both running the company. Maybe one of them would obviously have a higher position, right? It depends on who birthed the vision. I know of a company here in Port Harcourt run by a husband and a wife. Yeah, the owner, the visionary, the founder was the guy, all right? And then they started the relationship, and today they are married. Now, the wife owns her own company, her own outfit. Some way, somehow linked to. She's into interior decors and all of that. And this is a real estate firm. But together, it's not a problem. Every staff member knows that they are married. And it has never, at least to the best of my knowledge, become a problem. We've not had cases of, distractions, blah, blah, blah. Or maybe she did not give me 2 meats in the house. She did not do this. By the time they get to work, they each have their office. They go there, they do the job, and everything is fine. I mean, nobody gets to know whether they quarreled or they didn't say good morning to themselves or one person left before. They don't even have to show up at work in the same vehicle or at the same time. If that pattern is working, and there's several other organizations that are working like that, they are building, there's a way we say, they're building an empire together. Why does it seem like it is off or impossible when these two people are said to be working for someone? Now, personally, when you think about it, how comfortable are you being married to someone that you work with? Would it make a lot of difference if you guys were not in the same department? Maybe this person is in accounts and you are probably in IT. You guys will see yourself every now and then, but you are both working in different departments, and you may most likely not have an overlap or have to interact as often. Would it make any difference? Would it be worse if you guys are in the same department? I'll have you know that there are people who have been married in the same department who have had to also anchor a show on radio together. But this is 2025. Maybe it used to work in 2020. Maybe it used to work in 2010. Maybe it used to make a lot of sense as far back as last year. But with everything going on in 2025, do you think that model still makes sense? Remember, we're talking romantic partners as colleagues and bosses. So let's say I want to start with the second question like the caller suggested. What is your current organization's policy on dating or marrying a colleague? Does it make any difference that you guys are dating and not married? Can they allow for the marriage, right? And not agree dating? Would they allow for dating? Say, okay, you guys are just have fun, But once he becomes married, they say, no, we're not going to have such. Given the rise in the workplace romance, if you married a colleague, would you be comfortable with having them as your direct boss? Or you being their dad? Will you be able to tell them, why have you not submitted those files? Or you'll be looking at their face, Chai, she's my wife, well, let me calm down. Or you'll be looking at it and say, but it's my husband, Shao. I mean, will it be a problem? Say, if I talk to him one kind, now these staff members will not be talking to him one kind. If I speak to her anyhow, would you find it difficult exerting authority? Would it ultimately help or hurt your marriage? DDW, if I'm working in any organization and I find love in that organization, I will violate the rule and pick up my love from there and get away with my love. Man and woman can get married anywhere, anytime. Either bus stop, hospital, market, church, car park, airport, boarding flight, etc. Amina send that in. And this one reads, Zidi, good afternoon. Well, for me, I don't really see anything wrong with my spouse working with me in a firm or as my superior because sometimes it makes work easy too. Then for your second question, the organization I worked for previously had this policy that states the fact that peradventure, two colleagues go into a relationship and it leads to marriage, they will have to make a decision for one person to resign. But if it's just a relationship, both parties should make sure it doesn't affect their job in any way. Thank you. Kevin from Elioparanwon. They can date, but they cannot marry. Really? Alright. I have some messages from those watching live. I probably would take them after the commercial break that comes up in a matter of seconds. Stay tuned.
Nigeria Info. Right back after this.
Any motor way